Yeah, very good morning, all. In the last class, we have discussed about the foundation objects and the MDF objects and HR data, that is personal objects and employment objects. So, we have discussed just what are the various objects present in this foundation objects, MDF objects, and person objects, employment objects. So, today in this class, we discuss some more depth. What object means, what does it mean about each and every object, we shall discuss in detail. Okay, so first, if we talk about this foundation objects, location group, geo zone. So for any company, if you are implementing success factor, okay, so in that EC module. So we begin with this foundation objects, location group, geo zone. So what is the location, what is the location group, and geo zone? See, for example, location may be, for example, we are in Hyderabad. Okay, so we can have the company for which company we are implementing. It may have the branches in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai. So location Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai. Okay, and the location group can be Andhra Pradesh, Telangana State, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra. Okay, so location group in the sense the group, particular state. In that state, where are the locations? For example, if you take Andhra Pradesh, Vijayawada, Visakhapatnam, Guntur, etc. On these locations, location of this company is present across these locations, and the location group can be the particular state of that group, and the geo zone can be South India, North India, Central India, East India, West India, like that. Location group. Just for your understanding, I am telling location. Geo zone is a broader term. Okay, geo zone is a broader term where the company is present across various locations, geo zones, and the location group is within the geo zone. Various location groups, set of locations can be considered as the location groups, various location groups for easy identification of the customer, and the location, individual locations across various locations where the company is present. For example, location can be Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai. These 4-5 areas this company is present across. The location group can be India, China, Pakistan, and the location various cities or the places where this company is present across, and the location group can be China, India, Pakistan, and the geo zone can be Asia Pacific, America region, European Union, etc. like that. So I think you understood what is the difference between location group and geo zone. And so if you see, coming to pay foundation objects, in the pay part we have frequency, pay grade, pay range, pay component group. So frequency, talking about frequency is nothing but a pay period. That means weekly pay, bi-weekly pay, monthly pay. How what is the customer requirement? How he want to pay the salaries, either a weekly pay or bi-weekly pay, monthly pay. That talks about the frequency. And next comes to the pay grade. Pay grade is nothing but the pay band based on the hierarchical levels. Pay band based on the hierarchical levels. That means nothing but a salary ranges. That means for different hierarchy, there are different grades are there. The grade 1 employees, grade 2 employees, grade 3 employees, various bands are there. So we have to define those bands as per the customer requirements. Accordingly, we have to configure this pay grade That is one of the foundation objects. The next one is pay range. Pay range. Pay range. Pay range is nothing but pay range is the minimum salary, maximum salary, average salary for every grade. So here we are defining the grades. Here we are defining the grades, and for each grade, what is the minimum salary, what is the maximum salary, and what is the average salary, we are defining in the pay range. This is also one of the objects, the foundation objects, that is pay range. So next one that is pay component. Pay component is nothing but it is nothing but like in SAP HR we have wage type. That means pay component in the sense like what are the deductions, what are the additions, that we will define and we will configure we will create in the pay component. What are the various deductions or additions, and that amount and the number or rate we will define in this pay component. And next object is pay component group. So here we are defining the components. What are the various additions or deductions of the particular pay based on the grade and the range. We will define their components. And in the pay component group, we define the groups, pay component groups. That means we categorize what is the fixed pay, what is the variable pay, and what is the total CTC, that we are defining in this pay component group. So these are all the foundation objects related to pay. And coming to MDF objects. So and other three objects of foundation objects are dynamic role, foundation workflow configuration, event reason. So dynamic role is nothing but that is it is part of workflow. It is part of workflow configuration. It is interdependent both. So workflow configuration foundation object, that is nothing but triggering of the task. So for whom we are triggering the workflow, and when we want to trigger the workflow. So as per the conditions, as per the location changes, our pay grade changes, shift changes, data changes, and through various when we want to define and whom to trigger the workflow, whom to after triggering the workflow, why we are triggering the workflow, in order to accept or reject, approve or reject the changes, that is the configuration we are doing. So we have to trigger the workflows either to the manager, or HR, travel approver, or etc. Those are all we are creating in the workflow configuration. And as part of this workflow configuration, this is a dynamic role, which is a part of workflow configuration. And the event reason is also one of the foundation objects. So in an organization we have various reasons. Event is nothing but the actions. Events are nothing but the actions. In SAP HR we are having the action. So what are the various events or actions in an organization? That is hiring. Hiring is an event. Transfer is an event. Promotion is an event. Resignation is an event. Rehire is an event. Retirement is an event. So etc. Like this, various events or actions are there in an organization. So we are creating those event reasons for an action. So that is about this event reason object. So next, if you talk about the MDF objects, we have legal entity, business unit, division, department, cost center. So legal entity is nothing but it represent independent financial position of a company. It represents independent financial position of a company. So similar to company code in an SAP system. So that means each country has their own laws, legal laws are present for each and every country. So accordingly, each and every company present across various country will have a different legal entity, that is nothing but a legal entity. And a business unit. So in generic, for example, if you take Coca-Cola in generic we have Coke USA, Coca-Cola USA, Coca-Cola UK, Coca-Cola India. So maintenance of accounts basically for tax filing, tax returns, based on this number of legal entities are required. So finance team will decide number of legal entities required for a company. Finance team will decide, and legal entity is a country specific generally. Legal entity is a country specific. And exceptional cases we have a Reliance USA, Reliance India, and within Reliance India as well we have Reliance Communications, Reliance Petroleum, Reliance Textiles, like that. So within a country also we may have different legal entity. So that is nothing but it is in general it is a country specific item object. So business unit is nothing but it represents the line of business. It represents a line of business which the company is functioning. That is, it is not a country specific element. Business unit, it is not a country specific element. It supports global process. But it is not a country specific. It represents the line of business the company is implementing. So next, division. Division is nothing but in an organization. Division is an optional element. That is optional element in an organization structure. It is part of division is part of legal entity. We can change it to cluster, sector, zone as per the customer requirement. So as per the success factor, we have the term called division, and it is the MDF object. As per the customer requirement, we can change it as sector, cluster, or zone. In real time, we don't use generally this division. In the real time, we generally don't use this division. And the next, it is a department. Department is nothing but in general, we cannot create a global department. It is further classification of the division. So department is nothing but the further classification of the department. It represents line of business operations. So that is about the department. And the cost center, it is configured to track the expenses incurred on a specific objects. It is a controlling object. Cost center is nothing but a controlling object. And the next is a pay group. Next two related to pay MDF objects are pay group and pay calendar. Pay group is nothing but a pay group. Pay group depends on the frequency. And the payment date. Generally, these two, pay group and pay calendar, these are related to the EC payroll. EC payroll consultant will have a detailed will have more to do with this pay group and pay calendar. EC payroll consultant. So pay group depends on the frequency and the payment date. And the pay calendar is nothing but a start date, end date, and a payment date that we have to provide. And the next one is that we have a job function and the job classification. Other two MDF objects are job function and job classification. Job function is nothing but in an organization we are having various functions. That is HR function is there, marketing function is there, finance function is there. So accordingly we have to create this job functions in an organization, and we have to configure as per the customer requirement. And the job classification is nothing but within the function, that is HR. If you take the HR, where HR is classified into various levels in an organization, that is HR executive, HR team lead, HR team lead, HR manager,